Okay, so for this module 7 for the text to media comparison, I chose 3 different types of means to do that with the children. The first one I did a simple Venn diagram. So these Venn diagrams could be done in partners or by themselves to just get their memories from out what they read in the book and what they saw in the movie. Because some kids some remember some things, some just don't remember the other things at all. So they'll be comparing and contrasting the movie from the book as like on a big post-it so it can be visually seen. Kind of like what we did with the T-chart and the shoe, kind of trying to just compare that, and then they'll draw what they saw, what they thought stood out to them the most, like what was their biggest difference in the movie and the book. And so the second one I have is a T-chart as well. And so the T-chart, it'll look like this, but it'll be in a much bigger sense because it'll be in a group effort, like 4 kids, 4 to 5 students, depending on how big the classroom is. And they'll also be doing this on a big post-it so they can share out with the class, because I want them to share just in case one kid picked up on one thing and another group was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, so that they can all just share in what they remember from the book. So students will list minor and major details left out of the movie that they saw in the book, or vice versa, like why they added stuff, why they thought they added it, and like probably when they're explaining it to the group, like I thought that they added Jamie not doing something in the movie because of this reason, like it would affect the way that we saw it, or that they needed more time in the movie to show what the book showed us in just a little amount of time. So they would also, if they wanted to illustrate, that they thought that Rose looked like this or Rose would look like that, so that way that they could just see it in their minds and share with the other students. The last one is a movie, a mind movie, and I realize this kind of reiterates the fact that it is a movie, but I just want them, I'll read a scene from the book, probably the one where Ben goes into Rose and her brother's bookstore, and instead of just sitting there, instead of like bumping into them, he sits there and falls asleep and scares them in the movie. So I would have them write that scene out in their head. And if it's just pictures, I'll describe it to the best of my ability. And then I will ask them, comparing the same scene from the movie and the book, why do you think they were different? Or do you think that because they were different, do they have a different impact on the reader or the viewer of the movie? And I chose those 3 because to me they seemed like they were a little different from each other. I know they were kind of the same in comparing and contrasting, but that's kind of what we were doing in this module. But I would also have them like write a little reflective piece, like, do you think that reading the book inspired you more, or like made you think of the world that Ben grew up in and the world that he met Ben and Rose in, compared to the movie and how they created that atmosphere that was already made for you, to where you didn't have to make it up, to where you didn't know, to where you saw his emotions and Rose's emotions versus creating them and you feeling them yourself. So that's why I chose those 3.